Okay, I'm back. I fiddled around with microphone stuff, and I think I figured out what the problem was. So yay, no more weird microphone-ness. Yeah. Now we can move on with the quest, and there won't be weird dips in the audio. It'll be fantastic. It's too late for the stuff I already recorded, but you know, it's whatever. It's worth it. So you can hear the dulcet tones of my voice, and not hear keyboard clicking and loud background noise, except when extremely loud trucks go past, because that's just unavoidable. I don't think the best microphone in the world could get rid of that sound. Am I gonna go with my armor and stuff? Oh. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So tall. Alright, let's go see if I can get some more steel arrows. I need them. I need steel arrows. I need to be awesome, man. Of course, where the heck is the... I don't even know where the blacksmith is in this fucking city, so I'm just gonna wander.
The children are starving.
There aren't any children in this game, shut up. Very cool. Hello.
I salute you for your daring, hero of Kvatch.
Thank you.
For the right price.
Yes, my electric shooty bow. With it,
Can I interest you in some of my wares?
I'll just, take like 65 arrows. I can afford it. I'm rolling in monies. Do I have anything you want? Oh yeah, Thornblade. I don't need that anymore. Take this. Thank you. Take my topaz. I don't know why a blacksmith would need it, but here you go.
A play.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh. Will they take Max Pleasant? Yeah, they will. They're right now good place. I come here.
Allow me to extend my congratulations.
Thank you. What do you know about Daedra?
Makes you think I'd know anything about that.
I'm just asking.
But it just so happens I've run into some sanguine worshippers up in the Imperial Reserve, a long way northwest of Skingrad.
Oh, sanguine worshippers. I
Can't give you any better directions, unfortunately. Traveled mostly at night with a guide and didn't see much on the way.
Yes, but you have no idea what I'm talking about. Are you the person I'm thinking of? Let me just check.
I'm the only alchemist in Skingrad. Not much business here, but I can't go back to Morrowind. It's just like anywhere else in the Empire. By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia? Just asking.
Is it the first offense?
Let's assume... no.
Yeah.
That's nothing compared to Morrowind, thanks.
Yeah, you do you.
What can I interest you in?
Yeah, okay. Meet all sorts of interesting folks. Give me all of that. Yeah, 270 gold just to cover the fucking cost for my arrows.
Bye.
Bye. Don't get any horrible diseases now. Right. What was I saying? Is it? Oh yeah. While I was away, I also got some sweet knowledge about, some quick Elder Scrolls lore for your beautiful faces to use. Because I realized I was talking out of my ass last time when I was like, is Diver Septim in the second year or the third year? I don't know. yeah, so here's just a quick timeline of the Elder Scrolls world for all of your beautiful ears. So everything started with the Dawn era, which is what the Mythic Dawn people want to bring back, incidentally. And the Dawn era was the era of creation, where Nirn, which is this mortal world that we're in right now, was first created, and everything kind of went downhill from there, let's be honest. That was when the Aedra and the Daedra were, you know, they were just chilling and doing weird stuff. And this one guy, this one kind of Daedra-ish dude called Lorcan, really wanted to pull a trick on some of the other folks. And he was like, I want to bring mortals into existence. Oh my god, there's a police sign going past. Yeah, I hope nobody's dying. Anyway. Yeah, but he's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we brought, like, people that can die into existence? That'd be hilarious. So he basically fooled a whole group of powerful deity people into doing so, and ultimately this caused a whole bunch of them, specifically 8 of them, to give their bodies unto Nirn, creating many of the forces that you see in Nirn, as well as the existence of mortal people. And those people, and those deities, those 8, are the Aedra, or the 8 divines. Hey. Like Kinnereth and Mara and Zenithar and Bear! Hi Bear! Oh, and this is one of the special bears for Quest. Yeah, I'll just take that tooth just in case. Anyway, there's another one. Ah. But yeah, so the Aedra basically gave up their powers and their physical forms or whatever, so that people of Nirn could come into existence, and so nature could be a thing and all that. So they don't actually really have any power anymore, I don't think. So it's kind of weird that they're like the central focus of worship in the world, although I guess it kind of makes sense because, you know, they're worshipped for bringing us into existence or whatever. And in the meantime, all the deities that, like, didn't do that, who either refused or were just kind of in on what Lorcan was doing, those are the Daedra. And so the Daedra didn't give up any of their power, didn't give up any of their form, and basically it's the Daedra that hold all the power, and it's been that way ever since the Dawn era, and, you know, everything's kind of crap now. That was... So yeah, then, after the Dawn era, comes the Merithic era. And the Merithic era, is about, like, 2,500 years-ish of time. And it's basically the era of elven supremacy or whatever. Like, that was the time... Woohoo! Fucking zombie pieces of shit. There we go. Yeah, that was the time... Well, the Merithic era was when a whole bunch of people kind of wandered in from other continents and came to Tamriel, which is the place we all care about, so, you know, it doesn't really matter the rest of the places. There's a whole bunch of other continents, but you never see them, so it doesn't matter. And... the arrows... Anything in here? No. But, yeah. So there are a bunch of men and beast races that are coming and happening, and the elves, they build a whole bunch of crap. That was when, you know, these buildings, these ruins happened, was in the Merithic era. And it's around this time that all of the men races and beast races and stuff were enslaved by the elves because they were inferior or whatever, and yeah, that was not good, and that lasted for about, you know, 2,500 years. Very not good time, generally, except for the elves. It was a good time for the elves. And the Merithic era came to an end, kind of randomly in time. Apparently it was, like, according to my notes, it ended with the rise of the Cameron dynasty in Valenwood, This is probably where main car Cameron comes from. Yeah. And I don't know why that's the basis of the beginning of the first era, but whatever, because that doesn't really come into play at all at any point. Poof. And it's a little bit into the first era that there is the uprise of the men against the elves. And they say, hey, we don't want to be slaves anymore, that's stupid. And it's led by Saint Alicia, who was given divine power by Akatosh himself. So I guess the Aedra must have some sort of power still, you know, given the fact that they were able to give power to a person. And Saint Alicia worked, you know, she had the gift of Akatosh, and along with that, she worked with another human called Pelinal Whitestrake, who's the center of the Divine Crusader's quest in Oblivion. And they were able to throw off the shackles of the elves and start the first empire of men, which was just in Cyrodiil. It wasn't really, and you know, some other chunks of land, but it wasn't like all of Tamriel, like we have at this current point. It was just kind of in Cyrodiil. And Saint Alicia was the first empress, or emperor, whatever, of Cyrodiil, and started that whole kind of dragonborn lineage. People who were blessed by Akatosh and all that. And yeah, it's a good time. And the first era lasted for like 2,000 plus years. Like, it was a freaking long ass time. It was during this time that you had like basically, like, I'm not sure if Saint Alicia started it or if it was kind of later, but you had the Raymond dynasty. Like, that was the main dynasty of Imperials that had Cyrodiil after Saint Alicia's uprising, and that lasted for like 2,000 plus years. Where am I? What am I doing? Okay. I'm good. And the first era ended when the last Raymond Emperor was assassinated. And then the second era was a mess. Like, the second year was basically just a mess. It was about 800 years long, the second era, and the first 400 years of it was just like this fragile empire in Cyrodiil. Okay, I'll take this one out. Kind of changing hands, and eventually just kind of all fell apart. And you just ended up having everywhere in Cyrodiil, everywhere in Tamriel, including Cyrodiil, just being controlled by petty kings, just doing whatever. And eventually you get this petty king that happens to be in the Imperial City with the White Gold Tower. And he's like, oh man, dude. I want to take control of everything. Like, this is it. This is the time. Everywhere else is weak. I'm going to take control of everything. And he gets his best general, his bestest general, who goes by the name of General Talos, from Skyrim, to conquer all of Tamriel under his name, so that this one guy can become the Emperor of Tamriel, become the first person to have complete control over everything ever. So Talos, or his real name, Martin Septim, he goes around and he does that, and he conquers all of Tamriel, and it's a good time for him. And as he comes back to the Imperial City, where the White Gold Tower is, he realizes, hey, you know what? I'm the person with all the power. So he kills the original Emperor guy who wanted to take control of everything, and he becomes the Emperor of Tamriel. And he starts the Septim lineage, and he begins the Third Era. And the Third Era is what you're in during the game of Oblivion. Third Era is only 400 years long, and it is characterized by the Septim dynasty. Did I already press this? Press a button. Aha, Varlowstone. I want that. That's money. Ah, 1,000 gold. So many monies. So yeah, the Septim Dynasty is actually kind of young. It kind of reminds me of basically the lore of the Targaryens in Game of Thrones. Because the thing is, like, the whole Targaryen rule or whatever was only, it was also about only like 400 years or something. Like, the Targaryens hadn't had control of Westeros for really all that long at all. Just gonna let this play out. And really, the majority of Westeros' history was spent with divided kingdoms and different petty kings and stuff, and really, a united Westeros under Targaryen rule was a very new thing. So the fact that Septim's not really being around for very long, and also having only just kind of recently united all of Tamriel, it reminds me of that. It definitely reminds me of that. I kind of wonder, because I don't know if all of the, because, I mean, Arena, the first game in Elder Scrolls, it came out before Game of Thrones started. However, I don't know if all of the lore was really set out back then. So it's possible, you know, that... Ooh, it's possible that, you know, later on, when they're really, like, finalizing some of the lore in later games, that the Elder Scrolls people were inspired by Game of Thrones. Or it's a coincidence. Or, also possible, the people who made the lore for Elder Scrolls drew the same sort of inspiration from European history that George R.R. Martin did when he was constructing the lore for Game of Thrones. It's just kind of coincidence that they maybe, like, drew inspiration from... Come on. They drew inspiration from the same source or something. But I don't know. The world may never know. In fact, the Septim Dynasty is kind of... there's a lot of weirdness that goes on with it. Like, it's not perfect. Like, at one point, you have the Wolf Queen, Queen Potema, who's absolutely bonkers and wants to take the throne for herself. So she uses her son, who's, like, you know, not even in line for the throne. He's like Uriel the Third or whatever. And she wants him to become Emperor of... She wants him to be next in line to become Emperor of Tamriel, even though he's not supposed to be next in line or whatever. And they plot and they scheme, and there's a whole bunch of, I think, necromancy, if I remember correctly, and it just doesn't go well. And there's also the point in time where you have Pelagius the Third, I think, who's he's Emperor of Tamriel. Like, he actually managed it. Like, he was in line. He got the whole Emperor position all proper. And it just so happens that he's several fries short of a Happy Meal. He's kissed by Sheogorath, so to say. At least that's what it says in the lore. And he's absolutely bonkers. He tries to do all sorts of crazy things, tries to get all sorts of crazy laws enacted. And I think he ends up getting assassinated. He either gets sick and dies, or he's assassinated. And if he's assassinated, it's because of all the crazy stuff he wants to do. And people are like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, you know, pay hundreds of dollars in taxes for fish sticks or, you know, whatever he wanted. So there was that. don't really know much else except about, you know, the emperor who was assassinated in this game, Uriel Septim VII, who was a generally good ruler, and, you know, things were as peaceful as they could be under his rule. There's some weirdness that happens because he's the emperor during the time of, he's the emperor during the time of the events of Morrowind, he's the emperor during the time of the events of Daggerfall, and he's the emperor during the events of Arena. And, you know, shit's happening in all those games, or else you wouldn't have a game. So, I don't know how much can actually be said for, how good of a ruler he is, but maybe it's just kind of a coincidence that all this shit happens under his watch, and he's like, God damn it, I have to hire another prisoner to take care of this crap again. Why is it always prisoners? Why do I always have visions of prisoners helping me out? I just want things to be normal, man. That's all I want. Being emperor is so hard. Hey, I'm here! I'm so good at game. I thought this was a lot longer. Maybe it is long and I just, you know, just nerded my way through it. Wow! I found it! Jesus Christ. Time to fucking escape. Because there's a friggin' lich. There he is, there's the lich! Get away from me. Oh, he doesn't see me. This is my chance. Is my bow fully charged? You better be. No, you're not. Ah! No! That graphic is beautiful. I need enough to kill this guy. Ah! That was easy. I thought it was a challenge. No, it's not a challenge at all. Or maybe I'm just that boss, you know? Maybe I'm just really good at video games. Yeah. And then there's the obvious stuff everyone knows about the timeline, like, yeah, the Third Era ends when Uriel Septim VII finally dies, after all of this shit that he's been through. Finally dies, you have the Oblivion Crisis, Martin Septim happens, and and the Third Era ends. And the Third Era ends. And the Fourth Era, it's like, it's actually about 300 years in. Why doesn't the key open this freaking door? I thought the key opened that door. Anyway. And the Fourth Era is marked by tumultuous happenings, because for reasons, there's spoilers. Why can't I open that fucking door? I have the key. Anyway. Yeah, reasons. Oh! 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 But for reasons, the Septim Dynasty isn't around anymore. Yeah. So, you have all sorts of petty squabblings happening. The Elder Council is panicking. They're like, oh god, what are we supposed to do? We don't have anybody. So you have all sorts of warlords popping up, you know, counts and countesses who are like, you know what, I should be the next Emperor Tamriel. That would be a great idea. And you get one guy who kind of succeeds. Emperor Titus Mede. And, you know, it kind of works, you know? He's the Emperor, he does his thing. But it doesn't really, it's not the best, because, you know, through all of this mess, all of this creation of the power gap in Tamriel, the Altmer in the Somerset Isles start getting ideas. They're like, oh, the power vacuum, oh, the power, ooh, ah. And they start taking land, they start taking over Valenwood, they take over parts of Hammerfell, and they call themselves the Eldmeri Dominion. And they want to bring back the good old days of the Merithic era, when elves ruled the world. And So they start conquering shit, and it works, basically, for the most part. They actually sack Imperial City at one point, and Emperor Titus Mede kind of retreats. He gathers up a whole bunch of soldiers from Skyrim, and they come back, they take back Imperial City, but everybody's really tired. They're like, man, war sucks, dude. War never changes, dudes. So they kind of make an agreement with the Almeri Dominion. They're like, okay, we're done. What do you want? We won't fight anymore. Jesus Christ. And the Almeri Dominion is like, yeah, that's fine, you know, whatever. We'll spare you. As long as you stop worshipping that stupid man god Talos. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. We want to live. So that's kind of where, you know, the events of Skyrim comes in, because many people are not happy about not getting to worship Talos anymore, because Talos he's the man god, you know? He's the god of all of the men, and all the man races, and you know, and everybody's really mad that even though Talos has apparently ascended to godhood, the elves don't like him, so they're all very pissy about that. And Skyrim wants to defect. They're like, no man, Talos is specifically our god. Like, why did I take that potion? I don't want that potion. There you go. Because, you know, Tiber Septim came from Skyrim, so Talos is, like, especially worshipped in Skyrim. So people of Skyrim are especially pissed about not being able to worship Talos. That's where you get the events of Skyrim, because, you know, there's uprisings, and, you know, Ulfric Stormcloak is like, hey, I want to worship Talos and also get rid of all the dirty elves and beast races in Skyrim, because I'm racist. And he kills the High King, and yeah. Yep. You are now all caught up on Elder Scrolls timeline lore. Congratulations. It only took the completion of an entire quest for the main quest. Oh boy.
Need a moment of your time. It's urgent. While waiting for blades, join my Catholic brotherhood.
Oh god.
Good evening, ma'am. With all due respect, sire, there must be another way. The risk is too great.
I know the risk. I was at Kvatch.
Yeah, put that sassy hand on
but
your
there is
waist,
no other
dude.
way.
What do you need
Tell
for
him
You
what
have
you need.
no choice.
The Countess will never agree to it.
She will. She must.
Very well.
you Oh, have
The
no.
blades are, as
There's
always,
something
at
we
your
need to
disposal.
discuss.
What do you need, Count?
Ah, here you are.
My sword?
I have good
Yeah.
news. Of a sword.
Cloud
Oh,
Water
a sword.
Temple is
Yes.
home to the blade,
Let's see what
and
she
has
thinks
served
of
us
your
well.
plan.
But I
What do you
fear
need?
You're back. And you've got the great stone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do I even have a choice?
Yes, you did. I can't force you to do anything. I understand that. And I thank you.
You're a good dude. I'm sorry for sassing you.
I never thought to see a great Welkin stone. As beautiful as all the old tales tell. But of course its beauty is a mask for its deadly power. Like everything crafted by the Aliads.
Oh yeah, those crazy motherfuckers.
Now, we need only one more item. And we'll be ready to open a portal to Manka Cameron's realm.
What is the last item we need, person in armor?
I should have seen it sooner. It's the counterpart to the Great Welkin Stone. Just as the first two were the opposed powers of the Daedra and the Divines. Welkin stones contain the concentrated power of Mundus. Their counterparts are sigil stones, which are used to hold open Oblivion gates.
Oh no.
A great sigil stone, then, is what we require. You're not going to like it. Joffrey doesn't like it. The Countess of Bruma certainly isn't going to like it. Great sigil stones are the anchors of great gates. The kind of gate the mythic Dawn opened at Kvatch. The kind of gate the
Yeah.
mythic Dawn wants to open here to destroy Bruma.
So we just let him go.
I said you weren't going to like it. The risk is great, I know. I was at Kvatch. I saw the terrible power of the Daedric siege engine. But we have no choice. The only way to recover the Amulet of Kings is to allow the Mythic Dawn to proceed with their plan to attack Bruma.
At least you'll be safe here.
No. I'll lead the defense of Bruma
God
myself.
damn it.
If I am to be Emperor, it's time I started acting like one.
It's too risky. I'll lead the battle.
Remember when we first met in Kvatch?
Yeah, that
I
was like
told you that I didn't want any
30
part of the
weeks
God's
ago.
plan. I still don't know if there is a divine plan, but I've come to realize that it doesn't matter.
That's
What
the spirit.
matters is that we act, that we do what's right when confronted with evil.
Yeah.
That's what you did at Kvatch. It wasn't the gods that saved us, it was you.
Yeah, that's
Were you
yeah,
acting
that's
for
true.
the gods? I don't know. But now, it's my turn to act.
Yep. I'll just do what you say, Butto.
Please, my friend. I need your judgment, not your obedience. I explain myself to you so you understand me, and so you can explain to the Countess.
Oh, that's my job, is it?
I'm afraid she may take a bit more convincing than you.
Yeah, I wonder why. I'll go do that.
Good. Have her meet me in the Chapel of Talos for a council of war. That seems a fitting place to make such desperate plans.
We're all on edge, and for good reason.
Well,
but we can't give
that's
in
probably
to
a
panic.
good thing for next
Let's
time,
deal
isn't
with
it?
this together, as the blades
I'll catch you.
always have.
I'll catch you all
You know that
on the
no
flip
matter
side,
what
so we
happens,
can go
no matter what
do
fate
Martin's
befalls us,
crazy.
together we
fucking
honor
plan.
the memory of Uriel.
It'll be great.
Septim.
It'll be great.
pretty
It'll
clear,
go
isn't it?
splendidly.
We
At
failed.
least I got 8 for Bruma, you
must
know?
not
That whole
fail
entire super
unpunished.
special I did. It's all gonna be worth it,
discuss this
because we're gonna have lots of guards and stuff
The
protecting
blades
Martin and
will
making
stand
sure he
ready.
doesn't die. Which can be
May
challenging.
your sword always
So-
strike true.
Yeah, good times. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.